Hey, what's up everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to Super Fun Sunday. This is our third installment of it, and it's gonna be super fun. All right, Batman Court of Owls Unwrapped. Ironically, mine is still wrapped. I got this like 3 days ago. Was a suggestion in the comments. Cover price $39.99. You know what I got it for? 20 bones, yo. Shipped on eBay. And some people had said that Jim Lee's Hush Unwrapped was very expensive. I saw them on eBay for what I would consider reasonable prices, less than cover. So if you look around, they're still out there for a doable price. And they were the hardcover. All right, so let me pause this for a second, and I'm going to pop this open. Let me do this really quick first. I'm going to give props to the whole art team. Although the Unwrap focuses on Greg Capullo's incredible pencils, but gotta give love to the whole team. Scott Snyder for putting together one of the coolest Batman stories in years. We've got Jonathon Glapion on inks. A beast. These guys came alive on this book, and FCO Color, who really brought this thing to life. Which is beautiful, beautiful colors. Right? So we got love for the whole team here. But this is today. It's about being unwrapped. All right, so let me pause this. Then we're going to get into this thing. We won't be able to do the whole book. It's way too big, but we'll do the best that we can. Okay, so dust jacket off. Figured I would just show it to you. I'm sure these pieces are inside the book itself. But so look, I'm gonna say this right up front. This isn't open that book. I haven't seen this yet, so I'm actually very excited. I did follow Greg Capullo on DeviantArt when he was working on this, and he would actually post some pretty humongous scans at the time, and people started kind of taking advantage of that, and then he ended up sort of killing it. But I buy these books, this type of stuff, as a tool. All right, this is education for me. This is something that this book, I don't worry about keeping it in pristine condition. I bought this to learn from and to use it literally until it's dust. You know what I'm saying? This isn't a collectible to me. This is about work, and it's about learning, and I think it's an important distinction to make, because there's definitely books that I buy that are collectibles, and then there's books that you buy for educational purposes and for things that you're going to use, that you want to have out, and you want to take good care of them. I've always taken good care of my stuff, but this is about learning, and this book is going to get me hopefully to a higher level of my work. So look at how brave he is with that face there. I mean, it's really just the eyes and the silhouette of the head. I think that's really something to take note of, because it's so easy. Jim Lee mentioned this on his Twitch. It takes a lot of courage to not draw stuff. Does that make sense? So, for me, would I be comfortable just doing that? I don't know. I think I would have to fight the urge to put in the mouth and the jaw. And even if I kept it simple, the temptation to do more would be there. This is going to be really fun. Wow, that is great. I honestly do not remember this from the book. It's been a while since I actually looked at the Court of Owls, just in any version. So, man, that is great. Again, just the black face with the eyes, that little bit of light brushing across his forehead, and the catch in the ear. It's hitting the shoulder, a little bit of his sort of neck going into the shoulder blade. And, man, it's just really nice. And see, he's got the batarang kind of cord cutting through there, so that probably, well, not probably, it would probably be done in white. Just look how suggestive it is. I mean, imagine from Jonathon's point of view getting these pencils and then interpreting it. I mean, it's a really amazing thing that he did with the work. So again, props to Jonathon Glapion, because he really did a fantastic job on this series. It was really good. Man, God, Greg is so good. So the first time that I saw Greg Capullo's stuff was I actually thought that was Batman right there for a second. It's a leaf. I'm looking through the camera, so I because the shot was different, I thought that maybe that was like Batman coming in the scene. The first time I saw Greg Capullo's stuff was on Spawn. He hopped on around issue 13, 14, or 15 and did 2 fill-ins, and I was a really big Todd McFarlane fan. He was my first favorite comic book artist, the guy that got me into comic books. And so this new guy popped up, and it was like, who is this? Greg Capullo. God, I think I'd seen his stuff in Wizard Magazine doing some drawing tutorials. I don't know the order. It's obviously been a long time, but and Greg is great at inking himself. I actually really love Greg's inks. I also think that he's a great digital colorist. He's got a couple of full color pieces that he did in his DeviantArt gallery that are really awesome. There's like a dude with like a cowboy hat and a gun, and this sort of wizard's like room piece that he did, and this cool dragon and a spawn piece. There's some real nice colors, but yeah, he's really good putting down, you know, inks on his stuff. Great piece. But yeah, so Greg's stuff was a little more careful than Todd at the time, and what you saw if you followed Spawn was Greg would pop in here and there. He did an Angela mini series, I believe, too, which was better. I mean, better meaning it was getting looser and kind of felt a little more McFarlane-esque. But there was a point where a couple years later, Greg took the ball and ran with it, and all of a sudden it was like, whew, man, dude, this guy like cracked the code. It is incredible. And here we are today, and it's even more incredible than it's ever been. And you know what? Greg plays guitar. He's a brother in rock, metal. Dude's into freaking Zakk Wylde. He's friends with him, from what I've gathered online over the last couple of years. But yeah, he's got the Les Paul with the bullseye, and he's throwing licks out on Instagram. I like it. Oh yeah, this piece. This is great. This 2-page spread. Like I said, the lighting in my office in the morning is making my camera struggle. It's really frustrating filming these videos. But again, I should have a new camera, phone, blah blah, in the next few months, and that will alleviate some of this nonsense that we're dealing with lately. That is great. Again, very like loose, confident pencils. You know. It's really a testament to the interpretation that Jonathon did on the book. Yeah, so killer, Mr. Freeze and stuff. And again, we're not going to go through this whole book. We'll probably just go through, you know, I'll take it to 20 minutes, and then, you know, what I would recommend is just you should definitely pick this up if you don't have it yet. That guy with the pig mask, I don't know his name, but he's really cool. It's like, God dang, this freaking autofocus sucks. It's gotten worse over the last couple of days too, which is really. I may start filming with my older phone. It seems to focus better, and the audio is just worse. Man, that's so nice. But yeah, you know, we did open the book with the line deck over the last few days, and Super Fun Sundays has kind of been about looking at comics, so I wanted to bring it back to that. And next week I have a surprise. I think I'm going to mix it up, but I didn't have time to prepare for it today. But stay tuned, because next Sunday we'll do something. Oh, so next Sunday is Easter. We'll see. But if not, the week after. That's so cool. Really nice, actually, reproductions on these. I don't know if these were done off of photocopies of the original scans of the pencils, but it looks pretty good, all things considered. It was funny, I was kind of torn before I opened it if I was going to like the word balloons on it, because sometimes I'm used to seeing original art without word balloons because I'm a working comic book artist. Sorry, let me just move this one sec. The dust jacket was still on the table, so it's starting to slide. Yeah, you know, I'm used to seeing comic book pages without the word balloons, and I wasn't sure if with an unwrapped, if I really was going to dig the like lettering on it, or if it was going to obscure the art and kind of make it annoying to look at. But it's not that bad as I thought. Word balloons do cover things. You know, that's the reality. Is if a writer is wordy and the penciler isn't mindful of you know, leaving proper room for the text, then, you know, good stuff that you draw is going to be covered up. And it's kind of wasted time, sadly, you know. I mean, obviously the original, they don't really letter on the boards that much anymore. I mean, the face of the guy getting punched is really cool. It's at a really, really nice angle. Greg is real good at perspective, and what I mean by that though is it's not perspective like probably what you're thinking, but like he knows how to draw a head in perspective and make sure that every feature on the face sells the idea of the angle that it's at. It's very easy, and you'll see artists slip up on this, where they do a certain gesture with a body part or head at a certain angle, and they don't do the eye socket right, they don't do the eyeball right, they don't do the lighting on the cheek right, and all these little mistakes that you make really add up and kind of make it flattens out what you're trying to do. So where you originally had drawn it at a certain angle and it kind of slowly stiffens up, he's really, really good at avoiding that mistake. These pages in the book are some of my favorite. I really love this sequence. Oh man, yeah, the back cave spread. This thing is ridiculous. It's so cool. But I thought this would get everyone inspired to draw pages, to let it go a little bit. If you're looking at real tight art or finished art and you're not really sure, like what should your pencils look like? Well, you can go to this level of detail and not have to have every thing just this perfectly flawless line work, if that makes sense. I mean, it just depends on kind of your school of thought on what pencils should look like. You know, I've said this before, but in some other videos, but I've noticed with people who are used to seeing their work digitally inked or work digital more, they tend to tighten up and tighten up and tighten up their work to an extent where it can really start to affect your production. You know, you're focusing on things that oh man, that's great. Look at the dice and the Riddler symbol there, and all the, just man, the attention to detail is so nice. But you could see where when you're drawing on a big comic book board and you're putting in all the detail in pencil, you don't get hung up on that stuff. Greg isn't zooming in, you know, 200-400% and belaboring over the face or an eyeball or cross hatching on a little area. I think, and this is just a guess based on some stuff that I've seen, is I do think that sometimes he knocks out his thumbnails digitally. I could be wrong with that, but I think I had seen some stuff in the past that he had maybe done that way. And it doesn't mean just because you've seen it once that that's the way that the person always works. But it's not a bad way to work, is to get your thumbnails, the placement of everything locked down, and it doesn't really matter how you do it. Thumbnails aren't going to be really that collectible, and you know what I mean, unless you're a Capullo or a Jim Lee or an Alex Ross or something like that. I mean, it's a way to get started. And oh yeah, these are great. He draws great kids. This is such a memorable page in the book. Yeah, you know, once you get stuff down and you have the placement of everything, then, you know, you can either transfer that onto a bigger board or 8.5 by 11 and start to kind of work out where you're really going to do the nuts and bolts of things. Man, look at that. It's great. But see, could you imagine, okay, if you're doing this in a digital program and you're zooming in on this and you know, you might overwork it, where he's able to look at it 11 by 17 and kind of see what needs to be there. He's taking the side of the pencil and scooping in a little, I'm going to autofocus again, scooping in a little dark for the hair, and it's like this guy in the front. I'm going to see if I can get a pretty good focus on. You see, it's the guy right above the as most. You know, it's he's got one, look at the shoulder. So he's got one swatch of dark, a second, a third, and then it's the rest of the sleeve. And the nose, you know, you don't want to overwork stuff. This is really nice. This is a lot of work. A lot of work goes into these pages. This is no joke. Okay, we'll skip some of these just so that we can get to some of the more move ahead a little bit since we're on a time frame. We've got like 5 minutes left, so very iconic page. Look how loose this stuff is on the arm. Man, it's just wild. I mean, you can tell like some of it's meant to be black, but yeah, really, really cool. Ooh, look at that. So nice. Oh, these are great. Man, there was an issue of Spawn that he did with Sam and Twitch and Allie, and they both have their guns up. That thing burned into my memory. This looks like a stat. Yeah, is it a stat? Let's see. Start matching up little details. Yeah, I think this is a stat of this guy. Meaning it's just a like a transferred photo of the same exact thing. Oh yeah, and then this. I'm sure most people it reminded you of the movie Seven. Yeah, really cool. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna skip ahead. We'll just pop open the book and go a few more pages ahead. Alright, we're gonna start right here. Let's get wild. Let's see what we got going on as the story moves along. Man. Yeah, this is so cool. It's interesting. So who are some other pencilers that you think pencil like this? And I don't necessarily mean that draw like Greg, literally, but like lay down stuff a little looser. Newer people, say people from the last like 5 to 7 years. Who are some pencilers that you see that draw more like this? Or are you seeing a trend moving towards tighter stuff? I know Jorge Jimenez is really kind of blowing up online, and he digitally inks his stuff, so he's using, you know, a lot of texture and kind of unusual things, but it's pretty tight. But now for someone who's only going to pencil and not ink their stuff, you know, how do you mimic that? What's the approach that you're going to use to get your stuff down and have a level of detail? Like, what do you think about that? Do you go looser and then trust it to some other inker to ink your stuff? Are you going to ink your own stuff? What's the call? Let me know. I want to know what people are thinking out there. Can you imagine giving pencils this loose to someone else to ink? Would you trust them? Do you want to ink your own stuff and spend twice as long on every page, maybe even longer? Can you work from real loose pencils and finish stuff in ink? You know, that's another option, is you don't fully draw things out, but you go in and you actually sort of take the risk of, you know, you do your breakdown and then maybe you actually draw it in ink. It's a pretty brave way to approach pages. Yeah, I'm always curious of how people approach their stuff. Okay, so let's skip ahead a little bit more. See what we got going on here. Oh, this issue is great. Yeah, the sideways one. Oh man, so cool. This was really, really creative. Boy, what a wild idea. And Greg did it so dang good. Look at that Batman face. It's so awesome. Oh man, stuff is great. I love Greg's stuff. He is really, really good. He can turn the camera so well. He's a great cartoonist. You know, there's just like, it's all upside. Let me see. Sorry, these new books, it's always hard to turn the pages, and then I'm like struggling with that. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, no, it's rotating. My God, it's so confusing. Look at that. Ow. Man, that's so great. Yep, Capullo is the man. There's no denying it. Very curious what he's going to be working on next. Are there any rumors out there? I don't even know. I don't follow the internet as I should. Too busy working and doing YouTube. Oh man, that's awesome. I don't even know what way to turn now. I'm totally confused. I think I'm supposed to turn this way next. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, that's weird. The back of this book is wacky. That is really bizarre. I have no idea what's going on. Oh yeah. There's like some weird like binding flaw in the book. You know, I had another DC book that was like that too. I actually called them and told them, I said, hey, you know what? I spent like 80 bucks on a book, and the binding sucked, and there was pages that were damaged inside the book. It was brand new. It had never been opened. So you need to talk to the printer. Tell them to watch it. So if I was a customer, I would have returned it. Luckily, I'm a nice guy. But, yeah. Man, that is so awesome. Look at that. It's like, hello, just be ready to die. Splatter. All right, we are at 20 minutes. All right, I'll do like 2 more minutes. I can't let it end. I need to know what's going on in the back of this book. Check this out. We're going to look at this together. Whoa. Look at that. So hold on. Man, let me set the phone. I'm going to pause it for a sec. Seriously, you have to check this out. So look at this. Okay, so the dust jacket has never been fully cut. It's stuck. The glue is coming up, so it's actually peeling off of the actual book itself. So the two like kind of end pages, I have to take an X-Acto knife and cut this so that I can actually get it apart. Wow, this is really weird. Good thing it's not a collectible. I'll tell you what, whoever's printing this stuff for DC, they're a bit of a hack. Sorry, I'm going to call it like I see it. If I was a customer, I'd be pissed off at this. $40 book, and it's got this? Come on. Alright, let me pause this and solve this problem. Okay, I'm back. On to better things. Man, that was really bad. It totally ruined the book back there. Again, luckily this is just a tool for me, so I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, but I might call DC tomorrow and say, hey, you know what? The thing is, the problem is this stuff was published like a year or two ago, so it's really kind of like, it's too late for them to really do anything about it. It's still a shame. They should know about it. It's the thing. I feel a little bit like a tattletale when I tell them, but it's like, you know what? I take pride in the work that I do, and I know that these guys do too, and, you know, I care about the fans. The fans that are going to buy this stuff, spend their hard-earned money, get a book, and then they're disappointed. And it's not DC's fault. Like, DC doesn't make these books. It's not, like, the person that I call isn't the one that put it together, but, you know, these companies publish this stuff. You know, printed, I should say. And, yeah, it's got to be on point. Look at that shot of the dinosaur. T-Rex. Really cool. Missed from mouth, FCO. You better do it right. Man, this book is so killer. What did you guys think of Metal? I've only seen the first comic, so I don't know how it was. At some point I'll probably buy like the trade or something, but yeah, I bought the first issue, and then I just never really, I didn't pick up any of the other stuff, so I don't know. I don't even remember the cliffhanger, to be honest. I think someone was it Death showed up at the end? Someone from like Sandman showed up, I guess. Oh yeah, that cool armor. Yeah, what a book, man. It's crazy. Again, let me know, like, if you can name some newer artists, not like Mark Silvestri or something like that. I want to know someone that's brand new on the scene, that's laying down pencils this loose. Does anyone do it anymore? And also, if you're a penciler, you work digital or do you work traditional? Let me know about that too. I'd be curious. Man, I love this page. God dang. Whew. He knocked it out of the park with this so hard. He deserves everything he got from this. I hope he makes money off this book for the next 10 years, 20 years, all of them. They deserve awards, accolades. That's really cool. Would be very interesting to see Capullo work with Frank Miller. I know John Romita Jr. and him are doing something coming up. I want to see Capullo work with Frank Miller. Dark Knight 5. People would be going out of their minds, though, for that, I think. yeah. Getting tired looking at all this stuff. There's a lot of stuff to draw. This was, you know, I'm trying to think. He really, like, I give Greg a lot of credit, too, that he stayed on the book for a long time. Like, he's very, very reliable. Like, when he gets on a title, man, that dude works. He works hard. He deserves breaks in between these projects because, boy, I'll tell you what, man. Dude digs in and brings it. Looks like a little tiny bit of digital cleanup on there. Could have just been the eraser on the original page. Really nice. Oh. Okay, let's go towards the end really quick. Oh man. Oh yeah, this page is awesome. Look at that. So cool. Is this super fun? I hope so. Right, let's go to the back. I want to see if there's a little probably gallery or something. Oh man, this is nice. So what do you think? You're gonna get this book if you don't already have it? I think you should. I think you should. Oh, this is great. See, look at how nice that is, man. Dude is so legit. God. See, Capullo's an artist who he has enough fantasy in his work where you really want to go into his world. You love to see how he draws like Wayne Manor. You love to see how he draws like the maze thing that Batman was in. He's so creative with it. It just makes it exciting, and you wanna be in that story. It's a really, really important thing to have in your art, where there's a level of fantasy to it, even if you're doing, you know, something that's not fantasy technically. But it gets the reader's imagination going. That's what Greg does. He kindles your imagination. Okay, so I guess there's not a... All right, so we're going to end it here. There you go. So you got a quick, brief overview of Court of Owls Unwrapped, Greg Capullo. Really, really nice. Here's the cover. So thank you, Greg Capullo, for doing such an amazing book. Thank you, Scott Snyder, for giving him an incredible, incredible story to draw. DC Comics, Jonathon Glapion, and FCO Color. You guys crushed it on this series. All right. Smash the like, and I will be back tomorrow with something. Bye.